How's it going? I hope you're doing just as good as I'm doing tonight, because, oh my lord, really good workout. Plenty of gym homies, really good lifts today. My clean and jerks were pretty consistent all throughout all of the lifting. It was literally just the first rep on the last set where I know it might not look that weird, but I normally try to stick like holding it, like standing completely vertical, because that's what they would want you to do in competition so that you can actually make the lift technically. And it was just one of those times where like my brain was like 2 steps like beyond what I was trying to do, and the moment I got the bar over my head, I just started dropping it, and I was like, that was fucking weird. But regardless of that, I'm very happy with how it's been going. You know, it's a really good change of pace, get this good workout, get see some people that you haven't seen in a minute. And I had the wonderful experience of redoing my final because of a technical error in the instructions. And my professor decided, instead of giving us points, she's going to give us zeros, and we can all redo it the day before grades are due. So that's what I spent today doing. But you know what? I'm grateful I made it to the gym. I'm grateful I got a chance to at least redo what she would have left as a 0 for my final. So physically, I'm going to give it an 8.2. Really good day. The only reason I'm not going to like 8.5 to 9 range is because I talked about this a little bit ago, but I think that I'm very slowly starting to develop the slightest hip imbalance in my squat. And I already know why. It's like I've talked about my wrist issues a lot, where my left wrist I had some carpal bossing. You can look it up, but it's like my bone just grew too big and started trying to cut off my nerve and shit. And it's really hard to get my left elbow and delt upwards because my wrist has less mobility on that side. So a lot more weight sits there, and my hips try to make up for it by moving around. But you know, that's never what you want. But I think I'll be able to fix it. There's a lot of mobility drills you can do. Mentally, shit. 8.5. And I'm only saying this because it would probably be in the 7s range for sure if I had not, you know, persevered through the day. As cringy as it may sound, you know, I got to the point where I was just like, screw it. We're going to do that final, get it done. Doesn't matter if I feel screwed over. I'm going to appreciate the fact that I got a second chance, and I can, even if I'm going late to the gym now because of the final redoing, I still get to go to the gym. Met all the homies. My homies normally show up late as fuck, so, you know, it was really great to see everybody. And now I get to go play Lethal Company. Whoa, talking about video games for the first time. Because, oh my lord, it has been a while since I've gotten to have this much fun with a game with other people, specifically on multiplayer. Because, you know, if you've grown up with video games in the span that I've had, you know, I'm like 21, almost 21 right now. You know, you grow up with like Black Ops and shit like that, Call of Duty when it first started dropping the big ones. And, you know, being there when Fortnite dropped, when Among Us dropped. I didn't even really play Among Us a lot, which I kind of regret. But now this is out. And I thought with everything going on in my life and a lot of people's life, I think every time the years start feeling shittier and shittier, because there's a lot of memes I'm sure you've seen where like it'll be like, oh, 2020 can't get any worse, and then people are like, oh, 2023 we are still here. I don't feel that way because, you know, I've had a lot of personal growth along the way these past couple of years, but I do get that life in general, with what is released in the more media sphere of like games or just entertainment in general, can get a little stagnant, you know, especially with how short form content is like the majority of everything now. I thought it'd be really fun to just like switch it up. Let's change the topics, you know. No philosophy today. Well, we're gonna still get a little bit philosophical. What the fuck? Philosophical. I can't do English. We're gonna talk about some philosophy behind it, but whatever. I thought it'd be fun to talk about proximity chat games, you know, and like the effect that it has on literally everybody in not even younger age groups, just like, I'm going to say the youth in general, but to say that as like, this can be literally anybody, like halfway through your life and younger. You know, I feel like as games become more prolific in our generations, the people who are now getting closer to 40s to their 50s are the people that started with video games, you know, like the OGs. And it's looking like every older generation is starting to pick up games when all the previous generations all were like, oh, well, you'll stop playing video games eventually. And I think we're going to have a whole world of video games at some point soon. Which I don't think is a bad thing. It's a really nice thing to relax with. But just to get into it, I have talked a lot about how video games are very healthy in certain mindsets. And so I don't play video games as like a coping mechanism, I guess you could say. 'Cause like a lot of people will be like having an awful day and then bank on video games or something of that matter, just something that like is their relaxing, like it seems like lazy time, and they like bank on that to like make their day a little bit happier, which is like okay to an extent, but you know, you got to make sure you've got your shit together at least. You know, if you're living day by day just to make sure that whatever you are trying to have fun with at the end of the day, if that's all you're going for, you know, then maybe change it up a little bit. But I think these games with close proximity chat is a great way to get into that kind of thing, because it's a completely different experience when you get to play a multiplayer game with people that is just like, it's the randomness, the inability of like, there's not really a base of skill, there's not like a meta, you know, people aren't worried about being better than others. I feel like that's why people stop playing games like Fortnite or Among Us or all that. I'm sure Lethal Company will get to that point sooner than we want it to. But every game that comes out like this ends up becoming a contest when people forget that in its originality, it was just a thing to jump on with and just be with people on, you know? It's hard enough for people to be social nowadays, especially with all the remote working. And again, I think we've never had more antisocial people in the world. Not that that's bad if you are antisocial, but everybody has a level of social daily occurrences that they need to meet their satisfaction levels, you know? So if you think you're super duper antisocial, you don't like hanging out with people at all, and your limit is one person a week, you still gotta have that one time a week. And goddamn it, I'm telling you, I don't think it matters how antisocial you are. If you play a funny ass game like that where everybody's just screaming and no one knows what's going on, and it's fun because everybody's accepted that nobody knows what's going on, the chaos kind of brings about that childhood like feeling where you're in this little bubble and nothing in the real world can really hurt you while you're there. And I love that feeling. It can't be replaced. You know, there's nothing, like, I'm not saying that close proximity chat is the only way that you can get that, but just the things that bring you those feelings are just irreplaceable in your life. You should never try to deviate from those kinds of things, at least every now and then, because those raw images of happiness that you get when you just like get to sit down and just go crazy for a little bit, you know, it feels like you're fucking up and just going crazy. I feel like this is cringy. I don't know. But it's, you know, I the way I see the gym is, on top of it being like a lifelong passion, I'd love for it to be applicable to my real life situations in the future, stuff like that. At its core, when I go to the gym, everybody knows I'm not going to be answering my phone. I'm not worrying about life and all that. And that's not because I'm using it as a coping mechanism or a way to just avoid my problems. It's the one area in the day where I know for a fact that that's my bubble away from all the stresses in the world. I'm always going to be able to tackle my stresses throughout the day otherwise, as I always do. But you need to have those few moments in the day where you can really just put everything down, completely relax, and just enjoy yourself, you know? No stresses about bills, your work, social life, anything. Just somewhere where preferably you can be around people, because that just makes it twice as fun. But more than that, just somewhere where you can forget for a little while, you know? Just it's a natural it's like a natural medication. You know, people are always saying like, oh, you got to go to the gym, because like going to the gym, I 100% believe it. I'm not a fucking scientist. I don't know the proof of it, but I 100% believe that being physically active in any way that gives you goals and aspirations throughout the process, especially being around people, it is so much more effective than any sort of antidepressant can make you feel. It is unreal. My brother is literally going through this right now, where he's been on pills his whole fucking life, and he started working out like a couple months ago, and I've never seen him so bright. You know, it's like the people you think that you couldn't see that kind of emotion from, you put that guy under a bar or have him go play golf or volleyball, tennis, whatever, just something where they can be around people and enjoy themselves and work on themselves and try to progress their talents that they didn't know they had. That is like what makes it so special. And so similarly on these games, it's not just the game, you know, the mechanics of the game aren't what make people want to play it. You know, people don't just play Fortnite for Fortnite, or people don't just play Lethal Company for Lethal Company. People play because they know every time they get on, there are no thoughts. It's just you trying to have fun and be with people, you know? And whether that includes increasing your skills or your talents in that regard, it doesn't just have to be with the game mechanics. It can be how you interact socially, you know? Like it's been a while since I've been so vocal with so many people online. It's really funny. Like I feel like I'm screaming my head off when I'm playing that game. And it just feels like there are no limitations. There's no restrictions. It's just you and the game and the people, especially the people. And you know, you just want to get back on. You just want to get back on every night because you know they're going to be on. And if you're not there, then shit, you're going to fall behind. And whether that's with the game or socially, whatever, in the gym, that's typically your gains. Or even the relationships that people make in the gym. You know, I hate missing the gym, and when I see people going and meeting new people, I want to meet those people, you know? I'm kind of like a fucking parasite. Like every friend that my friend makes, I want to be best friends, you know? I want to meet everybody because I love having as many people to talk to as possible, you know? Because I've been saying this to a lot of people. I feel like 80 to 90% of my happiness and satisfaction in life is literally just my interactions with the people that I care about. You know, it doesn't give me a purpose to live per se, but it gives me that like satisfaction. It gives me that drive, the passion. I'll always be able to pull it out from myself as much as needed to keep going. Like I'll always be able to go to the gym regardless if the homies are there or not. But man, the motivation you get when you got people supporting you and uplifting you and just keeping you going, just having fun, you know? Again, I think people dropped Fortnite because it got too serious. And then it felt like work again. And it's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to deal with these people. They're just going to yell at me for not being able to hit my shots. I got on because I wanted to fuck around and make their lives miserable in this game because it's funny. You know? So, I don't know. I guess, moral of the story, just enjoy these moments while you have them. Because while I wish they lasted forever, they never do. You know, people adapt. They grow past it, they move on, and while that's always going to be great, you know, we got to grow and evolve to create better things like these new games coming out. It's important to live in the moment and really appreciate what you have right now in order to enjoy it as much as everybody else is. Because again, like I never played Among Us. I think I had like 2 games logged in. And man, when I saw that shit on, like, you know, everybody was posting that every single day, especially during lockdown. I think the reason I didn't play was because I wasn't social at all. Like, everybody was locked in their rooms and I didn't have anybody to play with. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to watch other people play. And that was always fun. It's always funny to watch other people get screwed over by their friends in a funny way. But, you know, I didn't live in that moment. I decided to sit in my room and do jack shit and interact with like 2 or 3 people for however many months that long period of time lasted. And as much as I tried to work on myself and make myself happy, the interactions with people and the motivation you get from those people are irreplaceable. You will always, always be so motivated and just more passionate when you interact with the people that make these games fun. These things in your life fun. The gym, hobbies, whatever, games, doesn't matter. If you got some passion behind it and you want to just be with your people, enjoy it while you got it. I know that there's always a chance that I fuck up and my body's broken forever, and I hate that possibility, and I'm going to do everything in my power to not get to that point. But I guarantee you, I fuck up my body today, you see me in next week working every body part that I got that still works. Not because I want to do bodybuilding instead of Olympic lifting now that I can't do Olympic lifting, but because I want to keep showing up and show to all my people and the ones that care about me and uplift me that I can still show up, and I want to be there, and I want to stay committed, because that's what gives my life purpose. It's not for those people, but it's the interactions that I get to have with said people along the way and the passion that it brings out of me. You know, it's all natural. Like I literally, it feels so good because I didn't have to really, I always will give myself credit. I put in so much work to get where I am today, but it felt like this passion came naturally to me because I let it. I showed up, I had fun, I enjoyed the people, I enjoyed the process, and I tried not to overthink it when I was. And I think people will stop living with regrets when they feel this way. So take it with a grain of salt, whatever. But pumpkin pie ice cream is calling my name. And apparently a lobby of 15 people on Lethal Company, as chaotic as that can sound. So, I'm going to be an absolute rager on that game tonight. So enjoy yourself. Don't think too hard about it. And just enjoy the moment. Have fun. That's all I got. See ya.